Perfect night for Pac-12 football. The Stanford Cardinal taking on the 20th ranked Utah Utes. Hello everyone, happy Saturday night. This is going to be a lot of fun. With my partners AJ Hawk and Danny Cannell, I am Eric Collins. Whole bunch of reasons to stay up late and watch tonight's game, but probably the biggest, guys, how about Bryce Love and the season he's having for Stanford?
I mean, Stanford had a pretty incredible running back in the last few years in Christian McCaffrey, who's now taking handoffs on Sunday from Cam Newton. They might found one who's better than Christian McCaffrey and Bryce Love. He is as explosive as it gets out there, leading the country in rushing 217 yards per game. The next closest rusher to him is 50 yards behind him, 11 yards per carry. You can go over the stats, and he's starting to put up historical numbers. He is fun to watch. He needs to have his hands full tonight, though, with Utah's defense.
Yeah, AJ, this Utah defense is going to be the best defense he's played against this year.
Yeah, this is the matchup I've been waiting for. This Utah front four, they're huge, they're strong. The coaches for Stanford can't say enough about them. The question is, how do you stop Bryce Love? They got to set the line of scrimmage, win up front, and then knock off the pullers. We all know Stanford runs this powered downhill running scheme, so you need to knock some of those pullers off. Make Bryce Love go east and west, not north and south, because we all know when he gets north and south, he's breaking for 80 at a time.
Well, if you're just getting up to speed with Bryce Love, folks, let's tell you how his season's gone. It began down under in Sydney, Australia against Rice. All he did is 180 yards in just 13 carries. A couple of weeks later against USC, 160 yards and a touchdown. They lost that game, but he played well.
Eric, you think he'd slow down once teams starting to get 8, 9 guys in the box, but he's even gotten stronger, getting better as the season has moved on without getting much in the pass game either.
The crazy thing about Bryce Love is he has this unbelievable patience when he has the ball in his hands. He lets the blockers set up the blocks. He's going to wait, and then when he puts his foot in the ground, he's gone.
Look at these numbers, folks. Just absolutely staggering. Bryce Love has played all of 5 games. He is already over 1,000 yards. His total through 5 games, more than 111 FBS teams. We have an answer to a question. We were wondering who would be the quarterback tonight for Stanford. It will be Keller Christ. He has got his starting job back, but we expect to see KJ Costello, who started and won last week's game against Arizona State. Well, all kinds of excited for a great night. Here come the Utes. We've got a new quarterback to tell you about. Tyler Huntley, sophomore quarterback, had been going great guns for Utah, was injured in the most recent game before the bye week. He had been putting up good numbers. His first year as a starter, he went down with what's believed to be a right shoulder injury. This is the injury when it happened. Went down hard, wasn't able to continue. The game was eventually won with Troy Williams coming off the bench and performing admirably. And now, after a bye week, it will be Troy Williams as the starting signal caller for the Utah Utes, and it's only his job. Tyler Huntley is not expected to be in uniform at all. So Troy Williams, who was the starter a year ago, won 9 games with the Utah Utes, is going to get another start now, and this is senior season.
Really nice luxury to have. A lot of times when you lose your starting quarterback, you go to a freshman, but pretty nice to have a captain step in with plenty of experience under his belt.
Utah won the toss. They deferred the decision until the second half. So Stanford will start on offense. Mitch Wisnowski, the everyday punter, will be the kickoff man for Utah. Cameron Scarlett back deep. And we're underway. Booming kick in the thin air, and it goes through the back of the end zone. So the Stanford Cardinal, after the touchback, will start with Keller Christ under center.
This was a little bit of a surprise for me that David Shaw went away from KJ Costello back to Keller Christ. He was their starter at the beginning of the season, but was dinged up, had to come out of the lineup. But back-to-back wins for Stanford feel like the offense had momentum. But David Shaw, you got to trust him. He knows his personnel, knows his quarterbacks better than anybody, and says, I'm going to go with Keller Christ, the guy who started the season, getting him back at the helm.
But don't be surprised if we see a whole bunch of KJ Costello. That's probably the thought process of David Shaw.
You're going to see a lot of Bryce Love. We know that for sure.
Love wears number 20. Deep in the backfield next to Christ. And why not? They give it to him to start the game. He averages 11 yards per rush, but he's got some work to do. Only a yard, maybe 2.
That's so key for this Utah front four, as we spoke in the open. Find a way to make him go east and west early. He's going to break some big runs. They know that. Filippo Mokafisi. This is just a true leader on this defensive front. I look for big things from him tonight.
2nd down and 8. Stanford 3-2 on the year, 2-1 in Pac-12 play. Christ underneath, pass is complete. The tight end Dalton Schultz with the catch. Big game for Dalton Schultz. He is a native of Salt Lake City, so nearby South Jordan. Was a big-time get when Stanford pried him out of the Beehive State.
It's a rarity in college football these days to see a team actually huddle, but Stanford takes their time, a little bit more of a pro-style system, getting up to the line of scrimmage, getting to see things under a controlled circumstance, and this is the sort of down and distance they want to see all night long, 3rd and short.
Daniel Marks comes in the game as a true fullback in front of Love. And now the backfield moves, and Love goes bottom of your screen. Christ caught. Tight end Caden Smith still on his feet, and Smith down to the 15, all the way to the 11. Julian Blackman saved a touchdown, but it's 65 big yards for the Cardinal.
Well, everybody in this whole building thought they would take the underneath route, get the easy 1st down, but Keller Christ saw otherwise as Caden Smith got behind the defense, makes one tackle or miss, and that's a huge gain early. Got to be a confidence builder for Keller Christ early in this game.
That's the luxury of having Bryce Love in the backfield. This whole place thought they were going to run the ball. They split him out as a receiver out of number 1. You can get behind the defense when that happens.
Chris keeps it, escapes through the back door, gets inside the 10 down to the 8. All the defensive attention going to Bryce Love to the right, and Chris sneaks to the left.
Yeah, Keller Christ going to stick it in the belly. Look at that defensive end, goes hard after Bryce Love. This is as easy as it gets for Keller Christ, but a good job by the Stanford coaches up here in the booth, recognizing those ends, respecting Bryce Love more than they do Keller Christ.
Yeah, so, if you're the defensive end and you're the read guy, I'm sure they were not telling him to stick to the quarterback. Your read was always dive down on Bryce Love.
This time Love does have it, nothing doing. He is brought down at the 7. Lecky Fotu with the tackle, and that'll bring up 3rd down and 5. Line to get is right about the 2. Remember, a couple of penalties at the beginning of this set of downs. It was 1st down and 10 at the 12, but then back-to-back 5-yard penalties marched the Cardinal backwards. Two tight ends in the game again for Stanford. Design rollout. Christ underneath. Short, not enough for the 1st down. Caden Smith is swallowed up.
Well, I thought Keller Christ might have had a chance at the corner route in the back of the end zone. Instead, he takes the underneath route. See if it opened up. The corner route in the back of the end zone. See number 2 back there? That's Trent Irwin. That's a ball you can float out there towards the pylon, give him a chance. And Keller Christ took the safer route, but short of that 1st down.
So the field goal unit comes on. Jet Toner, who has been pretty darn good as a place kicker. And this is a chip shot, 21 yards up and through. And the Stanford Cardinal take a 3-0 lead.
I know you guys were bummed. You wanted to go for it. I think that was the smart play from David Shaw. On the road, take some points, your opening drive. Make sure you get it. I thought that was a long 4th and 1.5.
It was, yeah, about 1.75. They called it 4th and 2 here on the scoreboard here. Utah.
Kyle Fulks back deep, watches it sail over his head. It'll be a touchback. So just like Stanford, Utah will start on the 25-yard line for their inaugural drive of the game. And we've got a new quarterback for Utah. First time this year starting Troy Williams, the senior from Carson, California.
Yeah, I mean, it's a real luxury to have Troy Williams coming off the bench. He's lost out the starting job to Tyler Huntley at the beginning of the year, but handled it really well with a lot of class, and most importantly has stayed involved with the team, staying invested, making sure he's ready to play, and that's where he finds himself tonight. You know, playing on a national stage with this team undefeated, needed a win against a tough Stanford defense.
First play, designed rollout. Little dump pass. That'll be complete. Good yardage for Raylan Singleton. Singleton across the 40 to the 42. Pickup of 17 yards.
I love that play call from offensive coordinator Troy Taylor out of the gate. You're giving Troy Williams a really easy read. It's a simple throw. It's a confidence booster. You got the play action. The end bites on it. He's in your face. You just flip it over the top. It's easy completion, big play. Buy yourself some breathing room, too.
Tackles made by Justin Reed. We'll be talking a lot about him throughout the course of this evening. Zach Ross with the carry. And the sophomore tailback picks up 4 yards, maybe 5 on first down.
Justin Reed here on the defense, the safety for Stanford. Already 4 interceptions through 5 games. Very, very versatile player. Starts at the nickelback, plays a little safety, can even play corner. He'll be all over the field tonight making plays.
He's the younger brother of Eric Reed. Zach Moss, Troy McCormick in the backfield. Now McCormick leaves. Inside run, this is Moss. Big gainer inside the 25. Frank Buncombe, Quentin Meeks with the tackle, but 19 yards for Moss.
That's the tough thing about playing man-to-man coverage for Stanford. If he gets past the first line, there's nobody there. Good run here. You can't miss any tackles when you're matching up in coverage because there's no help around you.
Moss, 5'10", 210 pounds. Runs with purpose. Williams wants to throw. And again, has a man open. It's complete. That'll be the first catch of the night for Samson Nakua. He picks up 14 yards, and the chains will move.
Keep an eye on number 9, Darren Carrington, right here with the bubble screen fake, basically, to get attention. Coach Troy Taylor told us a lot of times he's going to be lined up on the inside man to a 3-by-1 coverage, or a 3-by-1 formation, excuse me. A lot of times a big, lengthy receiver plays on the outside, but he thinks he's better inside.
Devontae Henry Cole into the game. Inside pitch. It goes to McCormick, and McCormick is stopped after a nominal gain. It'll bring up second down. Now both Utah and Stanford. Remember, Stanford the first time with the football, they got into the red zone, and then penalties marched them back. They had to settle for a field goal. Utah hoping the same thing doesn't happen to them.
Keep an eye on Carrington right here. Inside on the 3-by-1 formation. If I'm Troy Williams, I'm looking at him first.
Looking the other way into the end zone. Pass is knocked away. There is a flag down. Williams was looking for Singleton. Elijah Holder was doing battle with him.
Pass interference. Defense number 13. By rule, the ball will be placed at the 2-yard line with an automatic first down.
One of the things you do when you line up Carrington in that slot, as you pointed out, AJ, is you draw that safety attention so you get man-to-man coverage on Singleton, who's 6'3", 212 pounds. Give him a jump ball. If you're Holder, you really got no chance. You're just trying to make a play and get the contact, and for Utah, you get the first down with the pass interference.
You're truly on an island. If you're the backside corner to 3-by-1, there is no help whatsoever because we know that safety will be leaning hard to the inside man in 3-by-1.
Both teams are playing without a play clock. That's being handled by the officiating crew on the field. Right up the gut, Zach Moss, touchdown Utah.
Field position set it up, Eric. Starting on their own 50, going in.
Watch the fullback right here. Watch this block. He's leading the way for Moss, and look at him just destroy the safety up front. Really impressive. Now, that's a pretty easy run for Moss.
Number 20, Bobby Okereke, you don't have much of a chance there. No. You're going to try to go low and submarine him and create a pile.
Third rushing touchdown on the year for Moss. Matt Gay has been a revelation as a place kicker. Hasn't missed a kick, extra point, or field goal this year. He's perfect, and it's a 7-3 lead for the home team. The Utah Utes on homecoming have opened up a 7-3 lead. With 6 minutes remaining in the first quarter, the Utah Utes have scored for the first time. Zach Moss, rushing touchdown number 3 on the year. 2-yard out. That was set up on a nice 19-yard run by Moss to get them into the red zone. Very patient drive Troy Williams directed for the touchdown. Cameron Scarlett back deep. This is a returnable kickoff. We've had a couple of kickoffs so far in this first quarter. Both have sailed out of the back of the end zone. This thin mountain air. Good golly, Miss Molly. That ball was poked. Well, we've got a quarterback change. Starting quarterback for Stanford, Keller Christ, started the first 2 series, and now in the 3rd series, it's KJ Costello.
This is one where you got to trust David Shaw. I don't love it. I don't like playing 2 quarterbacks. I think it's really hard to find your rhythm. We just saw KJ Costello on the sideline trying to get loose. He's been watching. Now he's thrusting into the action. Meanwhile, Keller Christ, who was doing a pretty good job moving the football, now he goes to the sidelines. So we'll have to see how this Stanford offense responds, because the last couple weeks they've gotten things going with Costello, and they pick it up right where they left off, and him coming back here in the 3rd series.
Look at this great starting field position for Stanford. Going nowhere is Bryce Love. That will probably be a negative gain again. That's his 2nd straight rush where he doesn't get back to the line of scrimmage. Loss of a yard. Just curious, guys. This is great field position for Stanford. We talked about Utah and all the penalties they'd received, and now a 15-yard penalty on your head coach. This is a leader of men. This is a guy who is supposed to be the calm.
But I like in that situation, he's going to bat for his players.
You're standing up for your guys. Your players will absolutely, they will remember that 6 weeks from now. Hey, look how coach feels about us. He's standing up for us. If he feels we've been wrong, he has our back.
After the loss of a yard, 2nd and 11. Look at all the tight ends in the game for Stanford. Wide open man is Colby Parkinson. Parkinson with his 4th catch of the season. It's a 14-yard gain, and it's a 1st down.
Parkinson just shot out a little flat route, just a little wheel route. Watch, you're going to see one tight end go this way, and then just a little wheel route on the outside from Parkinson. See him? Just comes out there and gets lost from the defense. That's as easy as it gets for Costello.
With all those crossing routes, it's easy to confuse and have 2 guys jump on one route. That's how you find the guy wide open.
Love not in the game. Connor Weddington in the backfield next to Costello. This is Love coming out of the backfield, and Love inside the 30. His most explosive play of the game, a pickup of 12.
Well, if you dive after him, you better make sure you get him, because he makes you miss. He's going to get it. That was about 15 yards after that initial missed tackle.
Might have a little wildcat here, Eric.
Yeah, neither Costello or Christ in the game at quarterback. Instead, it's Cameron Scarlett in a wildcat formation. And a flag comes. I apologize, it's not a flag, it's just the end of the 1st quarter.
First quarter. Timeout.
So an interesting 1st quarter here in Salt Lake City. Only touchdown scored by the Utes of Utah. They lead Stanford 7-3. Ready to start our 2nd quarter. The Stanford Cardinal looking for their 1st touchdown. They trail Utah 7-3. Not much to like about Love's numbers in the first 15 minutes. Just 9 yards on 6 rushes. This is a guy who averages 11 yards per carry through the first 5 games of the year. With A.J. Hawk, Danny Cannell, I'm Eric Collins. Stanford's got the ball. 1st down and 10. Point blank range. They're at the 28-yard line. Slingshot throw to the tight end Schultz, his 2nd catch, down to the 20.
They're trying to get creative a little bit with Bryce Love. Split him out, show the empty formation. He's at number 1, bring him back into the backfield. Gathering information at the same time as moving Bryce Love around the field to see how they're going to match up against him. When they're going to stack the box, you have to get creative and find ways to get him the ball.
And you got to pass the football. You really do. You have to develop some passing game.
Keeper, Costello's got it. Down to the 10. That'll be a 1st down.
You got to find ways to create offense without Bryce Love. And one way to do is get that whole defense to think he has it. That's a great fake from Costello, sticking it deep in his belly, keeping it himself.
In the red zone again. Christ keeps it. Touchdown Stanford. Keller Christ from 7 yards out.
And that's what happens when you have so many defensive bodies committed to Bryce Love, and you're the quarterback, they forget about you. And that's what happened. Keller Chris, watch him, gives it to Love. Look at that defensive end crash down on Love, which opens up the easy walk-in touchdown for Chris.
So Stanford back on top. Toner the extra point. 5 plays, 71 yards, 7-yard touchdown for Christ, and the Cardinal up by 3. Nice drive led by Keller Christ. Stanford on top 10-7, and their first touchdown of the game. 7-yard scamper by Christ. Bryce Love finally got going, 39 yards, now has 47 here in the first half. 9:35 remaining, second quarter. Another deep kickoff. Jeez. Utah keeps it on the ground. Zach Moss on first down picks up 4. Bobby Okereke with the tackle. Moss scoring a touchdown for Utah earlier. Both teams with 1 touchdown, both touchdowns coming on the ground. How about this? Zach Moss has exactly the same amount of yardage as Bryce Love. They both have 47 yards on the ground. Devontae Henry Cole checks in. He wears number 7. Quarterback keeper Williams dives across the first down line. Fresh set it down.
This is what I would do if I'm Utah. I would try to establish the line of scrimmage, start running the football a little bit more. We've seen Troy Williams. He's been good, but he's missed a couple, struggled with accuracy a little bit. This is a drive you could really set a tone for the game, give your defense a chance to rest if you're Kyle Whittingham. And they've done a pretty good job of blocking up front against the Stanford run defense, which has struggled much of this season.
Moss breaks a tackle. How about that for effort? 16 yards on 1st and 15.
Pretty nice run we see from Moss, but watch number 13. Elijah Holder's got a handle of him. You got to hold on, make that first tackle. Try to contain those runs. You don't want to give up those big chunk plays.
Troy McCormick checks into the game. He's spread out now, goes top of your screen.
We got man-to-man over here if you want to pick anything.
They go that way. And it's caught. Singleton inside the 10. Danny Cannell, you called it.
I mean, it's a really easy read. That's what Utah's coaches told us they were going to do a lot. They were going to put Carrington, you know, in the slot on the strong side of the trips formation, but that frees up the backside, which is, as AJ just noted, they wanted to get Singleton involved. He's got the mismatch with size, 6'3", 212 pounds. You put it up there, give him a chance. It's like throwing an alley-oop to a basketball player.
Defensive coordinator Lance Anderson for Stanford told us their corners are playing well, but they're really untested until this game.
This is Moss, who's just stoned at the 7-yard line. Bobby Okereke with the tackle. Okereke's playing some good football. Coaching staff felt he was a little bit shaky first couple of games of the year, but last 2 he has been on point. 2nd and goal. 9th play. Over 5 minutes on this drive. What a spin. Moss down to the 3. A couple of corners, Meeks and Holder bring him down. It'll bring up 3rd down.
A lot of times as a back, you have to make that first guy miss. That's just your job. A lot of times you can't pick up that safety coming off the edge. That's what Moss did, but then too many tacklers to make miss on that one. Stanford comes up.
What do you guys like here? 3rd down and goal.
I think you need to get the tight ends involved somehow, even though actually none of them are on the field right now. Some kind of pop pass, play action, quick, over the middle.
How about Carrington? Get him involved right there.
Looking the other way is Williams, now in trouble. Goes down. Wow. like he shot out of a cannon. Bobby Okereke just ended that possession quickly. Williams is tackled. It's a loss of 9.
Beautiful closing speed here by Bobby Okereke. Diagnoses the play, takes great leverage, gets Williams down, forces the field goal.
And Danny Cannell, you were wondering if Matt Kay was going to be able to continue. Remember, he took that hit last time he attempted a field goal.
It's a miracle.
He's
Looks
battling
like he's okay.
through. He is battling through.
30-yard attempt for Matt Gay. Remember, he missed his first field goal of the year. Had been 14 out of 14, but obviously he handles adversity well. Misses a field goal, comebacks, and bangs in a 30-yarder. It's a 10-10 tie in Salt Lake City. Field goal by Matt Gay a moment ago, making this a 10-10 tie, Stanford and Utah.
There was some drama involved because earlier in the first quarter, Matt Gay had a 50-yard attempt, and on it, watch him get roughed up here a little bit. Now, I thought he sold it. I thought he deserved an Oscar for this performance. Kyle Whittingham was all in. He comes out there, he's livid, thinks his kicker's hurt. But watch it closely. How bad did he really get hit? I think he only got touched, and somehow, miraculously, he's okay. He's back in the game.
Tougher than a $5 steak. Well, we're going to have a returnable kickoff. Cameron Scarlett gets out to the 18-yard line. Christ keeps it and picks up a yard. For a middle linebacker, a 195-pound shifty guy or a big 230-pound thumper, what was more difficult for you?
The shifty guys are always tough, but the crazy thing about Bryce Love is he's shifty, but he runs, as David Shaw told us, he runs like a 220-pound back, and he has that low center of gravity and strong legs to where he's never going down.
Christ, little back shoulder throw to Caden Smith, and it's incomplete. It'll bring up 3rd down and 9. Coming up for the State Farm halftime. A lot of things to talk about. How about Washington State? Where are they on the road? Iowa State, that was the game earlier this afternoon that really had people shaking their heads in Norman, Oklahoma. Baker Mayfield, I know you guys think about him as a possible Heisman guy. Tough pill to swallow. 3rd and 9. Plenty of time for Chris, throws a bullet, it's caught by Irwin. Another 1st down, Stanford. 19 yards.
We've raved about this offensive line, the job they do for Bryce Love, but watch the backers coming a little cross blitz inside, and watch the pocket that's formed for the quarterback. I mean, this is solid. He gets to set his feet, and then you get man coverage on the outside, which makes it easier for the receivers. Everything starts up front.
Chris dropped the snap and then just throws it away. That was doomed from the beginning.
Pretty solid job just salvaging drop. I mean, it was a perfect snap in his hands.
Sometimes in that shotgun formation, you'll cheat a little bit. You won't focus on the ball. You'll keep your eyes on the defense. Probably what Keller Chris was thinking there.
It's like when a receiver starts to turn his head to look upfield when he's going to catch a ball. That split second right there is when you drop it.
Final 80 seconds of our first half. 10-10 tie. Schultz and Love next to Christ in the backfield. Incomplete. Wonderful defense played by Jalen Johnson. The true freshman corner got his right hand and knocked the ball away from Stewart.
Yeah, another blitz, and it was picked up beautifully by Stanford. Look at bringing 7 guys coming, and then they got press coverage on the outside. Well defended. Puts a lot of pressure on those DBs if you want to bring those pressures.
Bryce Love stepping up there in the A-gap and throwing his head in with a great block. His teammates see that and they respect it.
3rd and 10. Utah sends 5. Christ caught. 1st down, tight end Schultz. Oh, the native of Salt Lake City, Dalton Schultz, picks up 16 yards on 3rd down.
So Bryce Love, last play, went low. Watch, he goes low again on Tautaoli. He says, no way, not this time. I am jumping. He went in on that blitz, and he was He made up his mind, I'm going to jump Bryce Love. I know he's going to go low. Got the pressure, but was not able to get off the field.
Christ keeps it. A little bit of a shimmy, then tackled at the 35. Inside a minute.
Utah's getting really aggressive, bringing guys from the secondary, blitzing almost every single down. You know why? It takes Bryce Love out of the pass game. He's got to stay in and pick up these protections. I wonder if one of these times Stanford will try to slip Bryce Love on a little hot route. That could be a big opportunity for a chunk play.
124 yards passing for Chris. Only 6 completions. They've been big ones when he's connected. 2nd and 8. Tons of time. Underneath at about the 30-yard line is Stewart. Clock still moves. We're at 30 seconds remaining in the first half. Stanford with 1 timeout at their disposal. They don't want to use it now.
Got to be smart with football here, Chris. Can't take a sack at this field goal range.
10th play of the drive. 3rd down. Chris incomplete. Looking for Weddington. It's 4th down and 3. And the field goal unit will come on. Jet Toner has made one and missed one. This will be a 46-yarder. He's made from 21, missed from 27. The holder is the punter, Jake Bailey. And this time it's good.
Without a doubt.
And that's the way the first 30 minutes finish up. 3-point lead. Stanford on the road on top of Utah. Now let's send you to Rob Stone in Los Angeles. Yeah, it's been everything we expected here on homecoming in Salt Lake City. Hard-hitting, intense, closely contested. After 2 quarters, the Stanford Cardinal on the road leading Utah Utes 13-10. With A.J. Hawk, Danny Cannell, I am Eric Collins. Guys, let's get right down to it. Your thoughts in the first 30 minutes.
Well, this Utah defense really is holding up. -2 explosive runs by Bryce Love. I feel like they've done a good job winning the line of scrimmage, knocking Polars off in the backfield, playing on the other side of the line. The question is, can they hold up for 4 straight quarters against a great running back in Bryce Love?
I want to see what happens at Stanford's quarterback position. Keller Chris started the game. KJ Costello did come in and play a couple series, but very clear that Keller Chris has the hot hand. Does David Shaw stick with him and roll with that, or does he continue to roll with the quarterbacks? It'll be interesting to watch.
We'll take a look at our first half stats. Relatively even throughout. See the Cardinal with 262 total, 197 for the Utah Utes. Time of possession is basically a wash. Something to think about. Neither side has committed a turnover.
Yeah, if Stanford puts the ball in the air, look for this opportunistic secondary for Utah. 9 interceptions on the year already as a defense.
Utah's going to start with the football. They won the coin toss at the beginning of the game and deferred the decision to the second half. Now they want it. It'll be a touchback. Ball will be spotted at the 25-yard line. One guy that we expected to be a big factor who has not been is number 9 for Utah, Darren Carrington. Senior transfer from Oregon. Does not have a catch so far, guys, in the first 2 quarters.
This is something I think Troy Taylor, the offensive coordinator for Utah, has to have addressed at halftime. You got to have a plan for Darren Carrington. He leads the Pac-12 in yardage per game, receiving. So you got to get him involved in this game to give Troy Williams something to open up this offense a little bit.
He's only targeted once, and that was a pass right at the line of scrimmage that he wasn't able to make the play on.
Let's see if they move him around a little bit. Maybe put him on the backside of the 3-by-1, as we saw they did with Singleton.
Troy Williams, the quarterback, making his first start of the year. And the first play of the second half is that pass to Carrington, but it's sniffed out beautifully by Stanford for a loss of a pair.
They came out firing, giving their guy a chance, Carrington, but Stanford was all over it on the bubble screen.
Elijah Holder here, number 13. When you're the point man, he plays off the cut block, makes the tackle for a loss to start the second half. When there's a bunch like that, and you're the point man, you want to get right up on the line of scrimmage and challenge the first defender, or the first receiver.
Devontae Henry Cole looking for the edge. Gets back what the Utes lost and then maybe an extra yard. It'll bring up 3rd down and long. Bobby Okereke, who called his name quite a bit in the first half, makes another tackle. Utah undefeated, 4-0, 1-0 in Pac-12 play. Wins against North Dakota, at BYU, San Jose State, and most recently at Arizona. Looking for a significant win against the Cardinal. Here comes pressure right up the gut. Pass is complete, but not nearly enough. Zach Moss is tackled immediately.
Well, that screen was dialed up perfectly for Utah. And if Okereke doesn't make that tackle, that play is going a long way. Lineman out front.
So not the way you want to begin. Half number 2. 3 plays and a punt. Bobbled snap, and the punter Wisnowski is down. Oh, the first mistake of the game, and it's going to cost the Utah Utes. A loss of 11, and Stanford in point-blank scoring range to begin the 3rd quarter.
The snap was low. Watch it roll back there. You got to catch that, though. You got to find a way somehow to get that off.
So, Stanford is set up. It's going to be Keller Christ beginning the 3rd quarter as the quarterback. Remember, we saw equal doses of Christ and Costello. Combined 19 passes for those two with 10 completions. Two minutes into our 3rd quarter. Christ out of the gun. Love split out wide, now joins Christ in the backfield. Christ to throw into the end zone. Nobody home. Was looking for his tight end, Parkinson.
You're trying to find a tight end down the middle of the field, but there was a safety that was a little bit risky, and man, Keller Christ took a hit right there.
Delayed handoff to Love. Knocked off his feet. Gain of a couple, but that's it. Marquise Blair hit him with some force.
You don't see that happen a lot. Bryce Love got bounced backwards by Blair. Watch this contact. Boom, right there.
Guys, Blair playing with a little bit of rage. Remember, he didn't play in that first half. Had to sit out the first half because of a targeting penalty the last time Utah played.
Fresh legs coming into the game.
3rd down and 9. Stanford trying to capitalize on great starting field position. Quick hitter. This is Love in space. Makes the first man miss and then goes down. Oh, Utah's tackling wonderfully tonight. Casey Hughes from his corner spot.
Watch the pursuit from inside out here. Hughes doing an amazing job of sending the ball back inside. Do not let Bryce Love get the corner. If you know where your leverage is, you know where your help is coming, you send the ball carrier back to where your help's coming. The big D linemen, they're going to be on their horse, and they're going to get there with a little bit of anger.
That's a huge win for Utah's defense.
29-yarder jet toner. Made a pair in the first half. From the right hash. Holders Jake Bailey. Automatic. So, Toner is now 3 for 4 on triples. And the lead for Stanford swells to 16-10. Kyle Whittingham and the Utah Utes may be dodging a bullet. They had a fumbled snap on a punt a moment ago. Stanford had great field position, but had to settle for just a field goal. So it could have been a lot worse for Utah. They're now down by 6.
That is an absolute victory for this Utah defense. Stanford starting in the red zone already going in. You hold them to 3 instead of 6.
Kyle Fultz back deep. And he'll have no chance. Williams steps up in the pocket, wants to run. He can scoop. He's got the first down. Out of bounds at midfield. Justin Reed forces him out of bounds, but a pickup of 15 yards.
Man-to-man coverage across the board. Look here, your back's turned. You don't know when the quarterback pulls the ball down and runs. That's the downside of matching up. When you have an athletic quarterback that can get outside the pocket and run, your back is turned. You don't even know that he is across the line of scrimmage and he's running.
Henry Cole spins out of a tackle and has a first down. That play was dead in the backfield, but no one could bring down Devontae Henry Cole.
Eric,
11 yards.
That was that gear I was talking about. Watch him go from about standstill. He goes up in the pile, nothing there, and then look at him turn on the jets right there. It's that little burst that he's got that's really kind of jumped out to me.
Credit to Dennis Erickson going down to South Florida and recruiting some of these guys. Longtime coach, not on the staff anymore, but he has many connections in South Florida. He can go and persuade guys to come to a place like Utah.
Zach Moss and Devontae Henry Cole, both South Floridians, both sophomores. Second consecutive carry for Henry Cole, and he picks up 7 yards on first down. Ben Edwards with the tackle.
Now Utah trying to establish that line of scrimmage, get the ground game working, set a tone, give their defense a little bit of a break.
Utah's completed just one pass so far in this drive. On the ground again, Moss pushes forward. He's got the first down. Harrison Phillips with the tackle. A methodical drive here for Utah.
I like how they're taking their time a little bit now. They realize we don't have to run super fast tempo. When they need to, they'll sprint to the line and run a play when they feel like they have the right look. But
Devontae Henry Cole this time picks up just a pair. Eric Cotton on the tackle. These two schools haven't played a lot in recent years. Last time they played was 2014. That game was in Palo Alto, a game won by Utah in a couple of overtimes. Seven runs, one pass on this drive.
There's an opportunity. Maybe they take their shot with Carrington. He gets the man-to-man matchup this time.
Looking that way. Carrington with one hand. Loses the football late. They're going to call it a catch and a fumble. Utah still has it.
Man, he got lucky right there. But anytime that Utah has been going 3-by-1, Carrington's been on the triple side with the 3 wide receivers. That time they snuck him over to that one side, so we got the man-to-man coverage. Makes a spectacular one-handed grab, and you got to bring it in.
Utah to the line quickly. Well, were they worried that maybe the play was going to be reviewed?
I think they absolutely were. I think they were worried maybe it would be incomplete. They lose that yardage because they had the recover. Here's the one-handed grab that he makes, which I think he did secure, and makes the move. Yep, that was a fumble. But I think they just wanted to leave no question, make sure they got off another play so you couldn't look at it.
How about Devontae Henry Cole running to the ball, getting on that fumble. The play that goes overlooked because they continue to run the next play so quickly. If he's not there, it's Stanford the other way.
See, this time, here's Carrington back here on the triple side. So the man-to-man route would be over here, which is Singleton.
Williams tripped up, stays on his feet. Looking to Singleton, passes too high. It's 3rd down and 12. Troy Taylor, first-year offensive coordinator. This isn't easy. 3rd down and 12 in the red zone. Tight quarters.
How about the production of nose guard Harrison Phillips here? Multiple tackles on this drive. 11 tackles versus USC earlier this year. Very productive for a nose.
One-on-one into the end zone. There's a lot of touchy-feely going on, and the flag comes out. Elijah Holder had a pass interference penalty almost the exact same spot in the first quarter.
And he's getting a lot of man-to-man matchups because of the way they're defending the 3-by-1 formation. That ball really wasn't catchable.
Pass interference. Defense number 13. I rule the ball will be placed at the 2-yard line with an automatic first down.
That's a killer on 3rd down and 12.
Obviously, defensive coordinator Lance Anderson feels comfortable putting Holder back there manned up with no real help over the top. You're truly on an island.
Cody Ippolito comes in as the lead blocker. The give is to Moss, who's a whisker shy.
I bet they go right back to it. Put Ippolito in there, yeah.
Look at Moss.
Yeah, he wants it again. Yeah, he says run it again.
Moss hears you.
Just run that fullback up the middle, power.
They do run it again, and this time Stanford's ready for it. That play loses a yard.
The collision that the fullback has with these linebackers is unbelievable. He's just, Ippolito's destroying dudes. Bam.
Right here, Bobby
my.
Okereke shot the gap, met him on this side. And that's
Go 3 times, 3rd time's the charm. No, they're taking Ippolito off the field.
Try a little misdirection here, maybe back to the field.
This will be the 14th play of this drive. Comes down to this, 3rd down and goal. Carrington in the slot, top part of your screen. Williams in trouble. Down he goes. Peter Kalembai. A loss of 10. And just like Utah had a victory defensively a moment ago when they kept Stanford to a field goal, now quite possibly this will be seen as a victory for Stanford, keeping Utah out of the end zone.
Absolutely. Ball on the 2-yard line due to the pass interference call. This is a victory for Stanford.
Matt Gay has only missed 1 field goal on the year. This from 30. Bad snap. Perfect kick. Great job by the holder. The punter, Mitch Wisnowski, fielded a bad snap, and Gay converts. 3-point game in Salt Lake City. Utah, they put 3 on the board, courtesy of their kicker, Matt Gay. Gay's made a couple of field goals. 16-13 is our score. 15-play drive that took off over half of the 3rd quarter off the game clock. Utah disappointed they had to settle for just 3. How about this? Stanford has 2 sacks on the night, both of them coming when Utah was knocking on the door and inside the 5-yard line, knocking them back and forcing a field goal. Cameron Scarlett's going to return this kickoff. Scarlett out to the 23. KJ Costello is now the quarterback. So it was Keller Chris, now it's KJ Costello.
Let's see if they bring pressure. Every time they've switched it up, it seems like they're bringing pressure for Utah.
Keeper, Costello to the edge. Pickup of 6 on 1st down.
One thing we know for sure, which we've seen from Utah's defense, is if there's an option in the backfield, they're taking Bryce Love. So the quarterback run has been there all night long.
It has made it to the 4th quarter. When we come back, we will figure out what is going through the mind of David Shaw. Don't mess with the MUSS, the mighty Utah student section. Getting into it. Another sellout here in downtown Salt Lake City. And this is pretty cool, guys. Just a moment ago. They had this cannon that they
I
fired.
thought you were going to say AJ had a cigar in the booth up here.
Maybe in about 15 minutes, Danny.
Yeah.
Love, he's got a chance. Oh, what kind of speed you got, Bryce Love? He's got enough. Oh, touchdown, Stanford. 68 yards. You mentioned it. It was going to happen sooner or later.
I felt it. You could feel it in the air. It's just a matter of time before this guy, the patience, the vision here is unbelievable.
I mean, look at it. It's bottled up right there. Looks like he has nowhere to go. They get a couple bodies on him, and then it's to the house after that. You're not going to catch him. Even though he did almost let up there. That was a little
That was a bit scary.
dicey.
Right here, he stops.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah. Just a terrific back. Can do it all. So versatile.
Largest lead of the night for Stanford. Up 9, looking for 10. Jet toner. Extra point. Money. And Stanford flexing some muscle here in quarter number 4. Bryce Love, his first touchdown tonight. Stanford's up by 10. David Shaw smiles. He's got a super talent to hand the ball to. Bryce Love, all of a sudden, he's got 143 yards on the night and 16 carries. So patient. Finally hit his home run.
I mean, it's almost like it's tough to describe what he can do, because when a guy, you usually have one or two of the attributes. He has all of them, to where he has that patience and vision to sit there and let everything happen. But then he has that 4.3 speed after that to take it to the house. And it's just such a dangerous back.
Plenty of time. 12 minutes remaining here in quarter number 4. Bailey kicks off through the back of the end zone. Let's check. Troy Williams throws a dart deep, and that one's picked off. Back-to-back picks, this time Justin Reed.
Justin Reed with his 5th interception on the year.
This is just Utah trying to make something happen. Just underthrown there. Justin Reed, perfect position, goes up for the interception.
And that's a ball you can't really throw if you're Troy Williams.
No,
Justin Reed is in his hip pocket.
Again, that's what I was talking about. I know your time's running out, but still 6 minutes was a lot of time. You don't have to make up all 10 points in one play. Just you got to stay with your progressions. It's frustrating. I've been there before. You want to be the hero. You want to lead your team from behind, but you have to go with what the defense dictates.
Bryce Love back in the game for Stanford, trying to salt this one away. The quarterback is Keller Christ. Really, with the exception of those 2 long runs, Utah's defense has done a great job against Bryce Love, but the 2 long runs, a 39-yarder, and then the 68-yard touchdown.
I think Bryce Love should be the favorite for the Heisman Trophy. He's putting up those type of numbers on the season. Saquon Barkley has been the running back that the entire country's been talking about. I feel like one of the big problems, it's been a popular topic this week from Chris Peterson. He just had a 68-yard run. It's 1 in the morning on the East Coast. Not a lot of people saw that, and that's too bad. I feel that's why Christian McCaffrey didn't win the Heisman Trophy. That's why he was runner-up.
Love keeps going. Look at those feet. He's got the first down. This is a guy who's 196 pounds who refuses to go down. We've got updated numbers for you. Through 6 games, Love now has 1,238 yards. He's averaging over 200 yards per game.
I mean, that's remarkable. And he's going to have to maintain that pace if he wants to win the Heisman. And the other thing that he's going to have to happen is Stanford's going to have to probably win out for him to do that. Maybe they can lose one more game. But if he wants to be in New York and win that trophy, he's going to have to do something spectacular.
Talk about these are the numbers through 6 games for Love. 1,238. We're talking about in the history of FBS football, Garrett Wolf of Northern Illinois, Byron Hansbard, and Troy Davis, the only guys with more than Love through 6 games. Now this game's not even over yet. He could leapfrog Troy Davis.
I don't know, he's getting checked out there. You wonder if maybe they're just going to take him out of the field with the game pretty much in hand. Why risk your workhorse there?
Looked like he was arguing with the trainer a bit about
he wants to go in.
how his shoulder felt coming off that last run.
Out of the Wildcat formation, Cameron Scarlett. It'll bring up 3rd down. We talk about all the numbers for Love and how impressive he is. How about this? He still, to this day, holds the national record for the fastest 100, 200, and 400-meter dash for 11 and 12-year-olds. Is that amazing? He was the USA Track and Field Junior Athlete of the Year in 2009.
Let's see the end of this run here. He's came off a bit ginger, looks on his right shoulder. They're checking him out on the sideline here. The trainers, almost like they're trying to protect him from himself.
Yeah, you can see him not swinging that right arm when he's running because it's painful if he does. And I'd be surprised if you see him back in the game.
The trainer's got his hand under his shoulder pad, trying
massaging
to
it.
see what's going on with his shoulder. And you can see from here, though, Bryce Love is arguing with him, trying to get back in the game.
3rd down and 9. Under 4 minutes to play. Utah with just 1 timeout left. This would be a huge 1st down get for Stanford. 2 tight ends in the game. Out of the backfield, Scarlett can't make the catch, and the punt team will come on for Stanford.
That drop's critical for a couple reasons. One, you didn't get the 1st down, but also you stop the clock. With this every second proving so valuable for Utah to try to come back. That was an easy pitch and catch, though.
Just a note for you guys. We're talking about Bryce Love averaging 11 yards per carry this season. He is not the team's leader in yards per carry. That would actually be Jake Bailey, the punter. Had a fake punt a week ago and scampered for a good gain.
So he's got 1 rush. That's
1 for 19, yeah.
Yep.
Booby Hobbs back deep. And it's downed at the 5. Utah's in trouble. And the middle of your screen right there at the headset, that is the offensive coordinator for Utah, Troy Taylor. He coached Jake Browning in high school.
Did you see the numbers they put up? He threw 222 touchdowns in high school. Jake Browning did with Troy Taylor. 91 touchdowns in a season. I thought it was. I had to go back and double check it.
Is that 6-man football?
I don't know. It was insane.
How many touchdowns you threw, Danny
Not
Cal?
90. I didn't throw 91. I don't think in my entire high school career, and he did it in a year.
I'll be honest with you, that doesn't sound like football to me. That's just that's some crazy amalgamation of something.
Yeah, the 221 2 touchdown passes is a national record for a high school.
Better be.
Yeah.
Better be the record by about 150.
Right.
Troy Taylor says coaching in high school made him a better coach. Trying to come up with a scheme to be creative, give him different looks, and score some points to move the ball.
3.5 minutes remaining. Taylor out of his own end zone. Oh. That's almost picked.
Roughing the passer. He got lit up.
Peter Columbai in the vicinity.
Who me? Wait till you see what happens.
Personal foul, targeting. Defense number 34.
It's just tough as a defender these days. It really is.
That play, though, didn't look tough. He could have changed his target.
He definitely could have, yes.
Screen set up for McCormick. I guess my one real quibble with the targeting issue and the ejection is the announcement's made and then the player has to go into the locker room. You know what? Okay, you can't come back into the game, but at least stay on the sideline. He didn't intentionally try to hurt someone.
You don't want him to.
You're singling him out like he threw a punch. Yeah, it's like a public shaming.
Yeah. Trying to protect players.
Under 3 minutes to play. Utah unbeaten. Wins against North Dakota, Brigham Young, San Jose State, most recently in the desert against Arizona. But that unblemished mark is in trouble.
Going back to the targeting call, it's just such a big deal to be suspended the first half of the next game. They play Oregon at home, and it's almost in garbage time to where the game is almost out of hand, and you get the targeting. Such a big penalty.
And Williams trips and falls. It'll bring up 4th down, and I'm assuming you go for it.
Got to.
I'm assuming you're
Got
right.
any chance. You got any chance of winning this game?
Utah just 1 timeout remaining.
What do you do? They've been so disjointed for the last couple series on offense for Utah.
Pass incomplete, but late penalty flags come in the backfield. Looks like Williams got hammered.
Stanford's going to be careful. This is another one of their critical defenders who might get ejected. That's Harrison Phillips, the defensive tackle we're talking about. And there's definitely a late hit. Now let's see if he gets a targeting.
Personal foul, roughing the passer with defense number 66.
That's a huge, huge penalty, personally, for the player that it's assessed against. Incomplete, looking for Carrington.
That's the reason they have it there. Phillips, the ball was already thrown. He could have avoided that. Lowering his target area, keeping his head out of it. Those are the ones, that's why they have the targeting rule for plays specifically like that. Even if it wasn't the more vicious targeting penalties, we've seen flags being thrown on as we see him going off the field into the locker room, as Eric said, publicly shaming the guy.
Screen set up. McCormick.
Game's not over. I mean, Utah has 1 timeout. First down, the clock stops. You score, get an onside kick.
Yeah.
Back in it.
Stanford, a 3-point favorite. I'm sure some people are watching closely if Utah gets a score here late.
Williams throws a dart. It's complete. Nakua to the 36.
Yeah, there was a receiver running down the middle of the field. If Troy Williams could have seen him.
Darren Carrington.
Yeah.
Watch Carrington right here, running right down the middle of the field. Gets behind the defense. Was wide open.
Clock still ticking. 1:15.
You got to have a sense of urgency here if you're Utah.
Pressure. Williams just throws it away, but a whole bunch of time just went off the clock. Utah's got a kicker with a huge leg. If they don't get the first down here, they could always try and kick a bomb of a field goal, and you're going to need to get an onside kick.
Yeah,
instead of wasting more time and goofing around.
Right. It's a long field goal, though. He needs more yards first.
It'd be about 53 yards, which
doable
is in the
this
range
era.
of Gay.
Yeah, Whittingham says he can hit 56, 57, 60 in perfect conditions.
Williams pass makes that conversation moot. Out of bounds, inside the 20 goes Carrington. Now still, it's one of the situations. Don't burn up a whole bunch of time here. You're going to need a field goal and a touchdown.
Yeah, you want to start taking some shots at the end zone.
These receivers have to be tired.
Yeah, they are.
Running downfield routes.
Man, a lot of times they're switching sides of the field, which is a lot of extra running.
10th play of the drive. To the end zone. McCormick just 5'9", trying to catch a jump ball.
McCormick got behind. He was open.
Little back shoulder here.
Yeah.
That's tough with a 5'9" receiver.
Yeah.
If McCormick could have found a way to kind of go through the defender, I think we would have gotten much more likely for the refs to throw the flag there. It's tough when you're running full speed. You have to stop and come back for the ball.
Williams again to the end zone. This time the catch is made. Touchdown, Utah, Darren Carrington. 18-yard strike.
He just runs to the end zone, knows when he gets in there, stops on a dime. Boy, Holder just kind of lost sight of him, didn't realize where he was on the field, because at that point you got to realize he's trying to go for that goal line. A perfectly timed ball from Troy Williams.
And now this is a critical extra point for Matt Gay. Oh, bad snap, and Gay's kick somehow makes it over.
That might be the greatest extra point I've ever seen.
For a number of reasons. Oh my goodness, that's
that
crazy.
knee's looking good. That right leg feels much better. Wow.
The holder, Mitch Wisnowski, the punter, able to get it down at the last moment, and Gay trusted him.
Well, that point was huge for a lot of reasons, but just finding a way to get it up, just enough oomph to get it there. Most importantly, you want to keep this a three-point game if you're Utah, so you have a chance to tie it up if you get this onside kick. The stutter step from Gay.
You can double punch, be at a complete standstill, and he still has the strength to not only get it there, but get it high enough over the defenders. Wow.
The snapper is the son of head coach Kyle Whittingham. It is Alex Whittingham. Snap was actually pretty good. It was the hold that just wasn't great at the onset. It was bobbled, but then put down just in time. All right, no doubt about it. Got to have an onside kick here. Yep. Utah has just one timeout. It's going to be the punter, Wisnowski, attempting the onside kick. Stanford knows it's coming. Ball's loose. No signal.
Oh, now it's a scrum.
Both teams saying they have
it's
it.
anybody's ball in there. There's a tug of war going on right now.
A lot more than that, Danny.
I don't know, from that reaction from the Utah player coming out.
Stanford ball. Caden Smith, one of the tight ends that gets a lot of playing time, rips the ball out of that scrum.
He got it. He was on it first. Hold on for dear life at that point.
Yeah, from that angle, it never really looks like it was in question,
No.
but who knows what was happening under that pile.
So Stanford, they don't need to do anything except for take a couple of knees. Utah can only stop the clock one more time. Utah burns their last timeout with 37 seconds remaining. So Stanford will have to snap it just one more time. Stanford's going to go to 3-1 in the Pac-12. They still have a game next weekend against Oregon, then 12 days in between the game against the Ducks and the Beavers. At Washington State, that's not going to be easy. At home against Washington, and then Cal and Notre Dame to finish up November.
I'm telling you, Stanford with that Notre Dame game plays one of the toughest schedules in the entire country, playing 9 conference games within the Pac-12.
That's
Plus
hard to
Notre
believe.
Dame. I mean, it's a grind.
That's hard to believe that Bryce Love, as much as he was bottled up, still finishes with 150 yards.
Yep.
And Danny Cannell, I know it's late on the East Coast, but you say he is the front runner.
He should be. He should be. For what he's doing, what he's accomplishing, the numbers that he's putting up. And I think Saquon Barkley fell off a little bit today.
Against 8 and 9-man boxes too.
Right,
Dave. That's
that's
the
all
crazy
he's seeing
part.
with quarterbacks rotating, no real pass game to speak of. You got to remember, Saquon Barkley's got Trace McSorley keeping defenses honest.
Yeah, quarterback play is definitely a question mark with Stanford, despite this win tonight. Now the Stanford Cardinal, they win. They go to 4-2 on the year, 3-1 in the Pac-12, while the Utah Utes had been unblemished for the first 4 weeks of the year. That's all gone now. They're now 4-1 overall and 1-1 in Pac-12 play. Well, sure hope you enjoyed it. David Shaw sure did. Cardinal, they win against the Utes 23-20. For A.J. Hawk and Danny Cannell, I'm Eric Collins. Coming up next, UFC 216 post-fight show.